Well, if you've ever watched Jurassic Park or Spider-Man or Mission Impossible, then you certainly know our next guest's words. You've watched them in action on the big screen. And now you can hold them in your hands with his brand new book. Screenwriter-turned-novelist David Koepp is letting loose with a new sci-fi thriller, one that unleashes a fungus, a deadly one at that. And he is here with us this morning. Sir, thank you for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for having me.
We were talking a little bit during the break about it, but talk to me before we get into the book about what it was like for the first time writing. This is your first book. What was it like doing that as opposed to working on the adaptation side?
Well, what I immediately noticed writing a book after writing screenplays for 25 or 30 years is how constrained I was writing scripts by the form. You know, in a screenplay, you can only write either what people are say or do. You have no access to their thoughts and their feelings and that sort of perspective. So to be able to write in a book and go on for 3 pages about someone's, the job they had before they had this job and how they felt about their old boss, or in my case, to get into the point of view and the objectives of a fungus in detail was really liberating. Okay,
so let's talk about that, because I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the fungus, but it makes Ebola look like the sniffles. Talk to me about why this was the perfect sort of vehicle to tell this story.
Well, I knew that I wanted a monster, but I wanted the monster in the story to be microbial, to be tiny. Rather than a big looming monster. And I'd read some, and many people have, about there are 200 strains of Ophiocordyceps, which is a parasitic fungus. Primarily, the most famous one infects an ant. So the story goes, the ant crawls across the jungle floor, picks up the fungus, which then swells and reproduces inside it until the ant explodes, spreading more fungus.
Delightful.
Exactly.
So the government thinks that they contain this thing. They do not. And so the story is told through the eyes, the perspective of essentially 2 security guards. Who are they, and what do we need to know about them?
They're 2 young people in their mid-20s, and I wanted to write a story about heroes that had heroes to it, but I wanted them to be unlikely. I was walking down the street in New York City one morning, and I saw this guy, maybe 24 years old, in a private security guard uniform, and it was about 90 degrees. It's 7 o'clock in the morning already. It was one of those New York days. And I could tell on his face he was coming from a job he hated. And I thought, I want to make that guy the hero of a movie, because you don't get to see that guy's story very often.
Given what we've been speaking
about... Oh, God, I said movie, a book. Yeah. A book. Hero of a book, soon to be a movie.
Well, there we go. So with your experience in writing for the screen, it's only a matter of time, I'm assuming, before you adapt this for the screen.
I have, yeah. We sold the rights to Paramount.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much. So I've done a script and hopefully putting a director on it soon.
And what I really liked, again, what we were talking about in the break, you said that it's really tough adapting your own work.
It's so much harder. I've adapted a number of other people's novels, and it's much easier to cut other people's stuff. One of the primary challenges of adapting a book into a movie is just you have to lop out huge sections, and things got to go, and characters have to be combined. And in your own book, you say, well, no, but I wrote all that.
I put that in for a reason. But then also, I mean, with so much of your work, from Mission Impossible to Spider-Man to Jurassic Park, these were shows, or these were stories that came with a legacy, with a history. Did you have to factor that in, or do you approach screenwriting from other people's work as very clinical and methodical?
I think you do. I think you're obliged to respect the tone of what was written, because a lot of people may have liked it, and they may have liked it for a reason. Everything else is up for grabs. You can change really anything else, and you have the right to. In Mission Impossible, the first one, we took what was a team premise and killed the entire team, except for one person, because we had a big movie star playing the person, so it made sense. But I think that's your obligation to do that when you adapt.
David, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the book. I'm looking forward to the book. I'm looking forward to the movie. And all the best to you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. And the book is called Cold Storage.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.